Hi, witches.
Witches. I have to sneak away for 1 second and get my mouse. I have to. I know. I forgot to get my mouse out for this.
I forgot
1
lips.
second. No. So we weren't as ready. Do you want me to give you something?
On that table over there.
Oh,
I want mine. Please.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were working before we went live here, so we're a little discombobulated.
As always.
We're slightly
No,
disorganized.
I just need to get my mouse out. I forgot about that guy. What do we always use for the mouse?
I have a thing.
Where's the little black thing?
It's over here.
Oh, does it feel like chaos? Oh man, that's sometimes how people might describe eclipse energy. And there's so many varying viewpoints on it, and we're going to go over some of those. And the way that I like to think about this is, I don't know, we're Virgo rising, so everything about it is like putting it into boxes and squaring it off and checking it in like levels and numbering it, and So when I was creating the lesson for this, that's sort of what I thought about, was how do we start explaining eclipses and then making it neat and easy to process? Because if you guys have looked stuff up online, all the stuff is thrown out there.
In all of my witch groups, I swear everybody's like, "Oh no, you can't do any spells or manifestations during the solar eclipse because it's like chaos, right? It's chaos because of what's happening in the sky." But I disagree with that.
This is interesting. Yeah,
I actually disagree. I'm like, I think that it is scary if you believe it is.
Yeah,
if you want to believe that, oh my gosh, this is a negative thing, then that's your point of view.
Yeah.
I choose the point of view where I try to look at things like, this is magical. To me, this is magical. It happens so infrequently. What is it, every about 18 years or something for a solar eclipse?
Well, just in the same signs, but we get we have rounds of it, and I have not done enough research to tell you guys exactly how and why eclipse happens within certain time frames, because that doesn't benefit my practice, and it's a lot of nerdy stuff that you probably don't want to listen to. NASA would have it, History Channel would have it. There are places, if you want to look it up and go that in depth, you definitely can. But it's in cycles of when these things come back around. And I think that's what I really find interesting, because if you look at yourself now and then you compare it to 18 years ago roughly, and sometimes it's less, sometimes it's like 15 or it's 20, but it's the comparison of what we've done and how we've grown over a certain amount of time. And this is like a lengthy amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, when people get life sentences, a life sentence is 20 to 25 years, right? That's a life.
Yeah.
So that, like, how many lives have I'm on my second life, or I'm just ending my second life because I'm 43. So I'm getting ready to go into my third life. Hey, the first one doesn't count. We're really young. We're doing stuff, but it's okay. We're getting off track. We're going to bring it back really quick. The first thing that I want to tell you guys about eclipses, I want you to think about them first, very sciencey, right? We're going to go over a few sciencey things, because what we can do with the science of it is then we can look at the metaphorical things that we might associate with that. So if I were to say fire, what would be some associations you would throw out there for fire?
Transformation is the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah. I think of the forest cleansings and stuff. So fire is also like a cleansing thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we make these associations based off real things that happen in the world. Just like with tarot, fire is
action
and transformation. No, I was looking for the suit, but that's okay. Oh. So wands would be that
wands.
Fire.
You were looking for wands.
I was looking for the suit.
We don't rehearse, as you can tell.
No, we weren't telepathically linked at that moment. But so when you think about getting something in your tarot cards, and you know that wands equal fire, then there's this association that comes with them. So that's what we're going to help you guys with tonight. We're going to talk about some sciencey stuff with eclipses, but we're going to make those associations, and we're going to play devil's advocate. We're going to look at both sides of like the chaos and destruction and bad news and like, oh no. Mm-hmm. And we're going to look at the lighter hearted side of that, where it's more of the spiritual stuff, things happening quickly. This is all about the moon, the feminine energy and powers. So I think the first thing that's really easy to say, if you guys haven't made like a conclusive statement about eclipses are all about blocking light. That is it. Like, think about what in solar, lunar, it is about blocking light. So if we block light, where are we?
We're in the dark.
We're in darkness. What happens in darkness?
There's hidden stuff and shadow stuff and
shadow work,
and
just
danger even.
Oh, well, you're afraid. If you're afraid of the dark, there's danger there. You can't see what's coming at you. Yeah.
It's like hidden, secretive mystery.
That's right.
You know, occult.
I was going to say the perfect word for it is occult, hidden from plain sight.
Yeah.
So eclipse energy is occult energy. It's literally energy that is hidden from plain sight. Back in the day, nobody understood why it was happening and what was going on. You know, Copernicus just put out his theory for the earth is revolving around the sun and not the sun is revolving around the earth in only the 1500s. So we've only been living this reality for like 500 years.
And he died for his explanation or discovery.
He died for his discovery.
He was actually not died. He was killed, murdered, burned in the town square.
Yeah. There's a big memorial for him though. One day I'll go see it and I'll high five him. Love you, Copernicus. So it is about those mysteries. So that's probably why there is a lot of confusion around eclipses, because it's so mysterious. What are you supposed to do with that darkness that comes on in an instant, lasts for a couple hours, and then is gone again? It sort of feels like whiplash or like a whirlwind of stuff. You're like, wait, what do I do? Do I pay attention to that? Do I go do something? Do I hide in the closet? Like, what do we do?
Well, if we think of it in terms of the moon, the moon is the only reason we have eclipses.
That's very true.
That's a science fact. There.
Science fact.
But also when you think about what's happening with the moon, it's like we go from maiden to mother to crone in about 3 or 4 hours.
Very fast.
So like this is a lifetime in just this short amount of time. So it's like zooming through time.
Yeah, that's that transformation that I think we talked about, you know. And it's Aries. I think we were talking about that earlier. Now I can't remember if it was while we were live already or when we were talking before this. But you've got that, like Kat said, you go from when we have a lunar eclipse or when we have a solar eclipse, you're watching that shadow go across an object. So whether it's the Earth's shadow that goes across the moon, which is the lunar eclipse, or you have the moon shadowing out the sun, which is a solar eclipse. Either way, we're going from those shapes of the crescents to the full block out to then crescents again. We're doing that maiden, mother, crone movement. And it really is all based on the moon. So I feel like there's a lot of strong, feminine, powerful energy with that.
Like, I'm going to claim it.
You're claiming it.
I'm claiming it. I mean, it's the moon that's doing it, which is I'm a moon child. So
moon child.
I'm a moon worshiper.
If witchcraft was just moon worship, that's all it would need to be.
Yeah,
to get
exactly.
Hell
yeah. I love the moon. Wherever
you're
she
very
is,
attracted to the moon.
I always say, hello, moon.
So what we think about, and this is up for interpretation for you as well, but we're going through an act that we normally see over a month, and we're going through it very, very fast, especially for the lunar eclipses, which was already in March. But now that the solar eclipse is coming up, you get to see the sun's powerful energy blocked out. So this masculine, bright energy being blocked out by this very powerful feminine energy, which controls all the waters on earth, and it sets the tides, claim to be the reason why we were able to, evolve from the oceans onto land is because those tides were washing in the nutrients and supplying everything. So you have the bringer of life in the water world, which is the moon, and then you have the bringer of life in the daylight, which is the sun, right? That's how we get all of our food and why our atmosphere exists and all that. But
so what we have basically is like the feminine is knocking out the masculine for at least a minute.
Yeah,
we own everything at that point. Which is
our power is realized.
The world should be afraid of that, because if the women ruled the world, it would be a different place, a better place.
Oh, Well, now we're really getting on some soapboxes. I want to take a minute to
controversial, I know, and
speak your
it's
opinion.
my point of view.
Yeah.
So anyway, take it with a whatever. You get to decide.
Ooh.
We're going to present two sides here, and you get to choose what you want to believe.
Feels
So,
right. Yeah.
so I think with all of our witchcraft practices, it's like all the things that you learn about, you pick and choose the things that you want to incorporate into your
Yes.
practice. So,
And maybe Eclipse means nothing to you. You're like, I'm not staying up till 2 a.m. to watch it. I've done it many, 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 many times. And so the last one, my husband's like, are you staying up for the eclipse? I'm like, no. He's like, he's so taken aback. A witch is not staying up for the eclipse. I'm like, I've seen enough. Like, I don't have anything to do. I'm not working on anything. I'll just be like, oh, that's cool. There's an eclipse. Awesome. I love it. And I watch the rest of the world kind of go crazy over it. I don't necessarily have to do anything.
And here in the U.S. anyway, people are going crazy.
Yeah.
So there's all these people flocking to the path of it. Like towns are blowing up and reservations are booked. It's crazy. And I don't know what I'm not sure what to expect.
Because it's the solar, that's why.
I'm not sure what to expect here in Florida, what we'll see, if anything, of it.
I don't know. But did anybody see the new revelation of having a disco ball that actually reflects the eclipse? Because I ran across that on Instagram and I was thinking that's pretty cool. So it acts as a barrier. You're not supposed to look at the eclipse without special glasses and a whole little thing that we made in 7th grade that I can't remember how to do. But this lady, she had a mirror globe.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called?
A disco ball.
Disco ball. Thank you. I was like, a mirror globe.
Mirror ball.
Love it. Dyslexia. She had that set up and it was on the wall. The reflections of it were showing the progression of the eclipse.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool, right?
Yeah.
I had that happen with something different. It was holes through a fence, but I just thought that was a fluke for me. I didn't know that could just be like, it was obviously that funnel somehow to see the shape of the shadow, because you could look up at it with the glasses on and see nothing, because we only got a partial eclipse last time it was in Florida. But the shadows really showed it, and I was impressed by that. And now it's a thing out there on the gram or probably everywhere else. But to be able to see it, that's one of the things you can do. And no, I don't know the path of it because, again, I don't.
Well, it's like coming up from Texas and going like in an arc across the Midwest and up through the upper peninsulas, I think. But Tracy says 97% totality in Boston, where she's at.
Yeah, I listened to this thing on the radio that said a couple years ago they had the Great American Eclipse thing. And I know people who personally drove up to maybe Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee, somewhere up there to have like a viewing party. And this was tickets and it was a big deal. And, every hotel was sold out.
That's what's going on in all these towns that are in the path, in the direct path of it. So.
It was called like the Great Eclipse, I don't know, something with a year. And now this is the same thing they said. It's like, well, we can't do that every year, you guys, come on. But people can. Hey, find your own way to view it. So viewing it is one part of, I guess, celebrating it. You're acknowledging it. You're showing up for it. You're putting your energy into that thing. But spiritually, how are we going to, what are the different ways that we can, you can say, honor, celebrate, watch, decide, use the power of different eclipses, right? Because we are trying to go over both lunar and solar since we missed the lunar eclipse. We didn't do anything for that. Witches get busy.
Yeah.
But
witches be busy.
Witches be busy doing witchy shit. But now we're moving on to this solar eclipse, which is, I think this is always easier to see because nobody has to stay up till 2 a.m. to see it.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like I've done the 11 to 2:30 to watch everything, preamble, all that stuff. Now it's in the middle of the workday. So everybody who's going to be at work everybody's going to go outside. Anyways, right?
My company, my company that I work for is in Kansas City, and they are having an eclipse party. They're literally, and they're going to provide everybody with glasses.
So cool.
I don't know if they're going to get on the roof of the building or what. Probably not, because we don't own
in Overland Park or
yeah.
Wow.
In Overland Park. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
just remembered years ago, and I can't remember what year it was, but there was an eclipse, And we all got, when we were in the other building, we all got up on the roof. Dennis was there, and like all these people were up on the roof with our glasses on.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how many years ago was that? I've been with the company for 29 years, so I don't know. I lose track of time. I don't even know when the last one was.
Yeah, I remember an eclipse happening when I was in 8th grade because I was at Rosedale. And we all went outside with these like boxes and a toilet paper thing. And like, I don't know, we constructed stuff out of nothing to be able to see it. And it was really annoying because it's happening up in the sky, but you're like looking down at the thing, trying to track it. I was like, this just doesn't feel the same as seeing it, you know, but my school was very poor. They couldn't afford glasses for everybody. So we used tissue boxes and toilet paper rolls.
It was an art project for you to do anyway.
Sure,
Science
art.
project.
That's science and art. Yes,
Science
where
and
I
art.
shined. Okay, so the practices that can be done during this time can range from observing nothing, acknowledging, writing about it. You know, I think one of the most helpful things when you really don't want to do anything for them, especially the lunar eclipses, because you got to stay up really late. I think reflecting over the things that happen 3 days before and 3 days after, where that energy is kind of pulled between people, relationships, jobs, money, whatever's going on, just reflecting over like, oh man, that was a really weird occurrence. And you can add into it whatever sign it's occurring in. So like right now, this solar eclipse is going to be in the Aries sign. So we know that that motto is the I am. It's the first, it's a beginner. Is there a new project you're starting? Is there things that are happening very fast for you?
It's also a fire sign. So we've got double fire between the solar eclipse and Aries. I'm like, so that feels really potent to me.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it. It's like a really potent time for action, like some kind of action, like manifesting something that you want to do and that you want to do soon. That's how I would look at it. Again, it's not, there's so much debate about what is in our practice in the various.
How about there's so much opinion? Debate. You can debate your opinions, but right? It's the back and forth.
Yeah, there's nothing like, I mean, there's nothing written that's, we can all decide, oh yeah, we'll all get behind that. I think you just have to decide for yourself.
You do.
So I think with Aries, in the Aries season, well, we kind of, I think we know what Aries is about, or have we done an Aries anything yet? Did we do that a couple weeks ago? I can't remember. But this is the first sign of, you know, restarts the zodiac. So this is the sign. Aries is the one that gets shit going. They don't really finish it, but they get shit going. And without them, I don't know how much the rest of us would get anything started without Aries to get out there and be like, go for it.
Yeah, because we just came out of Pisces season, and you know,
we're all in our heads.
Speaking as a Pisces, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna be over here, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna wander.
Pisces always have their heads in the cloud. They do, and which is fine. It's beautiful. I love that about them.
If you have a Virgo rising and you're a Pisces, sometimes you get shit done. Also, just saying, I'm not always in the cloud, but yeah. In order for when Aries season comes, this is why we talk about, you know, creating the New Year's resolutions closer to like the Star season, Aries, because this is really when action is ready to go. It's available. It's ready for you to take advantage of. So having this eclipse during the Aries season, and it's a solar eclipse, I just think about something for you guys to do to decide for yourself, because that's what we really want to help you with. There is a shit ton of information out there, but to decide for yourself, you've got Aries season. What does Aries mean to you? Choose 5 words. Don't go bigger than that, or it'll get all muddled. And then with solar energy, you know, that has like, choose 2 keywords with that. Combine these things to understand actions or behaviors or new habits or decisions that you might want to make that can be influenced or supported by these 2 systems of an eclipse, which we're going to say, I still think things move very fast. So like, what do you want to happen right now? Like right now, like, let's do this. Let's get it going. And to have that fire of the Aries, like underneath your butt or your feet or somebody else's butt or feet, really gets things moving along. So that's where I would direct the energy.
Agree.
I'm going to flip my card over because I was looking at perspectives. I want to make a note really quick on perspectives because of all the things that are out there on the internet. And you guys know how I feel about everybody who's always trying to push people into oh, be careful of this. Watch out. You better protect yourself. You better, oh my gosh, all the fear mongering. Fear. Fear is a weapon of control, and it's so that people do not advance beyond other people's comfort levels. So when people are trying to stop you, hold you down, block you, it's because if you advance farther than them, they're going to realize how lacking they might be. And so when we're online, people know, if they've done any kind of psychology courses, you know what marketing is all about is FOMO, fear of missing out, or don't do this because you might. Like, those are more clickbaity things than something that says, here's 10 positive things to do during the eclipse.
Yeah.
Which one are you going to click on? And this is why there's so much information on the internet like this. 10 positive things to do for the eclipse, or 10 things you should never do during an eclipse. Which one are you clicking on? Because we both know, I'm psychology, she's marketing. We're like, oh my God, it's just out there everywhere. And I gotta say, does it get me? Absolutely. It's like, what are they telling people not to do? That my curiosity is not like, I'm afraid I'll do something wrong. It's more like, what are they making people afraid of? What fears are they trying to instill to keep their readers or people like hooked to go, oh shit, I don't want to make a mistake. I better like follow up with this. I better,
Well, it reminds me of, in hundreds of years ago, when people were afraid, when they saw these things in the sky going way, 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 way back in history.
Historically, sure, yeah.
And they saw these things in the sky. They were really frightened. They thought, like, is the world ending, or did I do something? If they'd maybe done something naughty, and then the eclipse happened, and they're like, oh no, did I make that happen? Is the world gonna? So it was very fear-based, because they didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the knowledge and the science to know what was actually happening, that it was just it was an alignment of the sun and the sun, moon, and earth.
Yep.
And that's what,
whichever way. So they're all either eclipses, right? Solar or lunar. All three things are aligned: the sun, the earth, and the moon. It just depends on the earth and the moon change places. If I can get my fingers to go like that. So if this is sun, earth, and moon, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. But if the moon is over here in between the earth and sun, now we're having a solar eclipse. Wow, I didn't look at the screen trying to figure out what that looked like. I hope that was followable, if that's a word. And so I don't know where I was going with that. I forgot.
Yeah, well, we were talking about, or I was talking about how people were fearful of it, and they didn't understand because they didn't have the knowledge. And I think it was in the 1500s. What's the guy's name?
Copernicus.
Yeah, Copernicus, put his theory forth that this is what was happening, and the rulers, or where was he from? Greece, England. Europe, somewhere in Europe. So the people, the rulers, and all the people that were in control of everything, they were like, that's heresy, and they burned him. So that just then helps people feed. That just feeds the fear. That just feeds the fear. Then it's like, oh shit, they burned him for that belief. So I'm just going to go with like, be afraid.
Mass consensus. Okay, let's just like do what everybody else is doing.
I'm going to go along because I don't want to get burned.
All right, I have another random fact then.
What?
Okay, so that was 1500s, right? Let's fast forward to 1919, so roughly 100 years ago or more. Einstein, his theory of relativity, I'm pretty sure that's it. Now I forget.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Theory of relativity was kind of proven, or at least had substantial evidence, because of an eclipse. So thinking about so the theory of relativity is all about that things that are giant take up more mass and can bend light around them. You don't need to know that. But because the moon blocked out the sun's light, they were able to see more stars behind the sun. And that allowed them to know light was passing by the sun and that it was rounded in some way. I don't know all the specs for that. It is definitely online.
You can Google that though, because it's part. Yeah. In fact, we put a link to that.
No, the link was to the history one. I found this really interesting. It's
though. It's in that article.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's in that article. It's
maybe it was.
Six historical things that happened
because of eclipses. Link is in.
So we put the link in this. Yeah.
Yes.
And one of those is 1919.
That's right,
Einstein.
1919 Einstein. Yeah,
Einstein
Good.
was able to prove his theory of relativity,
Yes.
or at least find
Because of an
something to
eclipse.
support it that people could see
Yeah.
and understand.
So now let's look at the span of eclipses over, humans being, maybe 3,500 years. Let's look at the last 3,500 years and what eclipses were known for. And then eventually now, as we're practicing with them or learning about them or appreciating them, we have, 3,300 years ago, people were like leaving cities and burning things because there was an eclipse and it was like, this place is doomed. The gods are mad at us. We shall leave. All the way through to, people trying to prove that the eclipse just meant that things were moving in a different way and they were killed for their beliefs. So science, like witches, they were killed for their beliefs if it was not approved by the powers that be. And then all the way to now, here we are being able to choose how we think about that energy of the eclipse. We already know like the science behind why it's all happening, but now how do we practice with it?
But also here we are where people are celebrating it and they're traveling great distances and setting up camps and renting hotel rooms and making parties. So it's like this is, we've come a long way. We've come a long way, baby.
Ooh, I'll tell you, it's like it's wild. I mean, even us in the modern witchcraft world, knowing that, people before us that tried to hang on to something like this had to keep it secret, had to keep their ideas unknown, all the things that they probably thought that they could never tell anybody. There was not a sisterhood like we can have now, to just be in that knowledge and be like, I can do nothing with this. It's just right here stuck and that's it. That's the existence. So I would celebrate that. I would celebrate our wealth of knowledge, how quickly we can find things and do things. I think I've told this story before, but when I was 16, for my 16th birthday, my mom was like, what do you want? And I worked and I bought my own car and all that. Not that she didn't help me, but like she wasn't buying me a car. I asked her for the Encyclopedia Britannica, right? Because the internet wasn't alive yet. And all I wanted was like access to all the knowledge anytime I wanted. So I'm really grateful to live now and be able to click on my speaker on my phone, ask Google a question and be like, tell me about this. I have so much more than the Encyclopedia Britannica, which was like my idea of I've made it, in the knowledge world, to where now it's just like the information is at our fingertips. And the only thing that you have to do is decide what you're putting your energy into. Are you following the more like, ooh, be cautious, fear-based, like, oh, I don't know, this is not good? Or are you like leaning into everything going, the world is advancing, like there's star seeds, there's witches, we're being modernized, we're moving in a direction. Is everything perfect? No, absolutely not. Will it ever be perfect? I don't know. A lot of opinions on that. But for you, you can make your practice perfect for you by just deciding, going through the information. And you don't have to tell anybody shit. Just so you know, you don't have to confess to anybody what you think the eclipses are about or the energy around any of this is about. Just have your own opinion and like
do your own thing.
Do your own thing. Yeah. Because do we agree on what the eclipses are about? I don't even know.
Well, fast transformation, fast action.
Yeah.
I think because of what's happening, because of how you see the whole cycle of a month that goes in just
for lunar, especially, right?
Hours,
yeah. The way that the lunar thing goes. So what do you think about the solar eclipse where we go from daylight to darkness to daylight again? It's like a whole 36 hours.
Yeah, but I don't think we're like really, it's not really dark though.
Depending on where you're at. I mean, it's oddly shaded. Have you ever you've been in a full eclipse, right? Yeah.
2017, Tracy looked it up.
Yeah.
August 21st,
Thank you, Tracy.
2017, 7 years ago. Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
almost 8 years ago.
Yeah, and we didn't do any metrics on this as far as like when they fall in certain signs and how true, like I know the planets and how often they come back around because I've been working with the planets a lot longer than I've been practicing or following anything to do with eclipses, only because they're very fast. They happen. Everybody makes a really big deal about it. Nothing has ever been like shockingly alarming to me where I'm like, oh my God, it's eclipses. So now, nothing's ever happened. I've just been like, oh, that's really cool. Look. And the moon, when you have a lunar eclipse, especially, because I think I seek out lunar eclipses more than I do solar. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, probably so.
I care about lunar eclipses more. I don't know why. The moon changes the most magnificent color to kind of look like this, which is why I wore this dress, because it gets this red tint over it. Now, people used to call that a blood moon. I'm like, because it's red, is that it? Are we just like the only thing red in this world is blood? Okay, I got it. All right. But in science, what do we know? That the light is not hitting the atmosphere with the arc. So you've got, instead of the blues that we normally have during the day, whatever, we've got the red sheen over it. It's light waves. It's literally science and light waves. So I know that was a lot, right?
I was just looking at one of my notes. So okay.
I'm going to take a drink. You go.
Okay. I was just looking at one of my notes. So one thing to remember about Aries, the sign of Aries, is their motto is I am. So this is all about us and our external, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our movement through life, what we see ourselves as.
Yeah. I know I read an article on eclipses that gave you all kinds of manifestations to do. And it was from like the Hindu times in India or something. So I think people in different cultures also see the eclipses in a different way than we do here in the Western world.
Sure.
Probably primarily because we're so influenced by Christianity. So, yeah. So other cultures, I mean, I don't know what people in the Asian countries do, but the Hindu times, it had a manifestation for each thing that you could do, like health, career, money, spirituality, all of these things. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I love that.
And you could do it based on what your desire is that you want to happen really fast.
What you want.
That's just what I think of. I think of it as like a quick thing, you know. If you guys think it's also about fast action, I would love to see like any kind of emoji that shows fast action or something. I don't know. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. I miss Meetup only because of this one thing. We can't like engage. Yes.
Well, Raven wants to know where the I am statement, and I know I've seen him like it's
that's
like
the
I
zodiac
am
mottos.
Zodiac mottos.
Zodiac mottos. Yeah.
Mottos. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read them all, but I can't. Of course, I can't remember.
I know. I think
it's Scorpio's I desire, isn't it? It is.
I desire.
What's Pisces? Do you remember? I dream.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
I believe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe I can fly.
You're welcome, Raven. Glad we could help you. I think those are fun to know, especially when you like look at your own sign or your kid's sign. It's like, this is what they're really about. It's like I am, or I desire, or I believe, and it really fits.
I know for Gemini.
I know.
Yeah. I balance for Libra.
So if anybody has a question about eclipses, you can ask it now. We'll be happy to discuss it. Since you're not here, we can't see your faces, and like, and we miss that. We miss that when we could do that. But since it's one-sided, we will. If you have a question, please post it now in the chat, and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, and also, I think I'd love to know if anybody's planning to do anything.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a spell? Are you going to try to manifest anything during this with this energy, or are you on the side of like? I guess you don't have to admit or whatever, you don't want to, but are you on the side of like, oh no, it's chaos, you know?
But see, and what if it's different for each person? Like, what if chaos does surround each person differently? We all have our own natal charts, right? So of course we're never going to get into that because I'm not an astrologer. Yeah. I don't do that. I pay somebody else to do that for me and like really get in depth with my own stuff. And that's about as much as I can understand. Sometimes I do my husband, my son, my mom, and my sister, and that is it. I don't even go as far as my nephews. So I'm like, that's a lot of people in my world. So I have to have somebody else tell me about my own self. I definitely cannot tell you guys about yourselves. I can give you like general things about zodiac stuff that I've experienced that I know, but natal charts are serious. So I think that the way that different eclipses fall could definitely create chaos in some people's lives.
This one is in Aries.
I'm not saying it's
imagine that the Aries folks, Aries people will feel the impact of this greater than maybe other signs.
Yeah, and we have a lot of we shouldn't talk about this because you're not going to get anything really substantial from it. Tuesday we put out a video about resources, and we really love Molly McCord, you guys. She's a great astrologer. I listen to her stuff. It's like a lot to take in, but I get little things from it that relate to me. I was going somewhere with that.
Bree, I'm
Train went
with
off
you.
the tracks.
I want to do something too, and I'm like really contemplating what I want to do. And I think the first thing I need to do is kind of meditate on it and let the answer come to me, because I'm not sure, because there's a lot of things that I could do just based on this article that I read.
I brought my cards so that we could discuss this afterwards, because Kat and I have not celebrated any eclipses together, and it might be time for that. So I was like, ooh, what are we going to do? We're going to do like a 3-card pool to just decide, are we doing this alone, together? What should we come up with? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's happening after we get off the live. We got to do some tarot to get some insight from the people.
I love that, Raven. I love the deck. Kim Crayons.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Favoriteest.
It's beautiful.
Love my deck. I don't know. I think with different decks you get messages that seem like the language is different for each deck, and I think that's what really connects us to the decks that we work with. But I love that one. Damn it, I was going somewhere and I'm still trying to remember what I was talking about with Molly McCord. She does a lot. She's been talking about, she's got a video up right now on her channel about the eclipse in Aries. It's about 45 minutes. I was listening to it this morning. Listen to it on time-and-a-half speed, though.
I was listening to it this morning. And, she's talking about it's in Aries, ninth degrees of Aries. It's like, find the 9th degrees of Aries in your chart. I don't have Aries. There's none of my planets are in Aries at all. Everything's down here in the corner in Scorpio, Libra. It's on this side, of the.
I have Mars in Aries.
Yeah. So I got nothing in Aries. So I don't know if I'll feel this, if it'll impact me, but I do believe that I can use the energy, regardless of whether I'm Aries, have it in my chart or anything like that. I believe that I can use the energy of this time, of this eclipse, to manifest something. I just need to meditate on what it is that I want to bring into or get rid of in my life. And I have to ponder that for a while and meditate on that, because nothing comes to mind. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with I'm pretty satisfied with my life. It's not like I'm trying to change anything.
That is a great point, actually. When witches or people reach a certain place in their life, there is nothing to do. Like, we've been asked, how many spells do you do a week? I'm like, a week? How about a year? I'm like,
yeah, a year.
I don't need the evolution like I used to. So this could also be that point for you. That's why I say you could do like nothing. You could do some reflection writing on it about things that happen around you. But if you're not trying to change anything or bring about something, don't fucking do anything then. Don't let anybody tell you need to be working hard on this. Oh, don't miss out on this once in a lifetime energy that won't happen again until 2350. Okay, well, maybe I'll be in another life by then, and maybe I'll need it by then. But it's okay right now to not need the energy of what's going on in the sky, and to just be. Like, not be pursuing anything is an okay thing to do. I had to be told that by my
therapist.
Even as a witch, as a person, as a mom, as a partner, as a human.
It's okay to just be.
Yeah. Our souls are evolving, and we definitely get pushes and nudges from the universe when it's time to do some shit. It is like, get,
Well, we get nudges, or we keep getting the same lesson over and over again. And the universe keeps reminding us why we don't belong here, because they keep screwing things up.
I've been extremely clumsy lately, and now I hit the same exact spot on my arm like 3 times, and I wondered, the very last time I was like, oh, why? Right there in like the soft fat tissue, and it hurts really bad. I have little chubby arms, and the fat bruise is way worse when you're chubby. I feel like it does. And I hit the same spot in my house 3
So were you
times.
thinking the universe was trying to tell you something?
Yeah, go the fuck to bed. Stop. I was rearranging something, and I kept bumping into this one object, and I was like, oh, I know you're there. How do I keep hitting it?
Maybe it was an object you needed to get rid of.
No, it's my ladder.
Oh,
It's my ladder. I was
you needed to
hanging
put it
stuff.
away then.
It was telling me
It
to
was
go
time,
to bed.
time to put
I
it
know.
away. Yeah, go to
Damn
bed.
it. So that's what this is like, right? Interpretation of the things that are going on around us, and whether we can use that to improve ourselves, make desire requests from the universe, add intention and like link goals to that. But if there's nothing, then let it be nothing and be okay with that. I gotta say, like, give yourself grace to do nothing. It is okay. That downtime, that rest, boy, do I go through it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. Aries season hit. Now I've been cleaning out my house, and like there's been a trash bag of stuff leaving my house every other day. Just shit. I'm like, I haven't used you. And I have things, you guys, it's like, I never wore it. I never returned it to Amazon. So now it's just here. And you have that like conundrum.
I paid money for it.
I paid money for it.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it fits on my arms. It's like that guy in a little coat. I don't know. And I have, it doesn't tie around my chest nice. Just the things. And I'm like, but I spent money on it. So letting go of shit that doesn't make me happy when I see it, it reminds me of how I guess I failed at something. I don't know. I wasn't responsible. I'm like, you can go away. You remind me of how I'm not like on track with stuff.
Okay, Raven has reminded you that you were talking about resources for the eclipse.
Yeah. Okay, with Molly McCord.
Well, we just posted a video about resources that we use all the time, and Molly McCord
is on that resource list.
One of the things that we talked about was all of the other YouTube channels that we have on our channel. That's like other channels we love. It's all the way down the bottom of our
on the homepage, all the way down the bottom.
All the way down to the bottom. And so we talked through all of those and why we like them. And Molly McCord was first because she's like our favorite astrologer. I have a couple of her books.
Yeah.
She's really good, although it can be a bit overwhelming because there's so much information.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to find 9 degrees of Aries. I'm like, how do I do that? Do I have to look that up or something?
She has a video for that.
And then
it's not easy.
And then let's see what else was it. Chiron, the whole thing with Chiron, what's going on. So something's going on with, and it's sextiled or trined with, I'm just like, I don't know what all these things mean.
Yeah. It's like sign language from somewhere else where I'm like, I'm not sure which direction you told me to go.
Well, I love her. She does get really, and she's very passionate.
Yeah.
She's very knowledgeable. She's been doing this for, I don't know, 30 years.
500 years.
Yeah. Something like that. And, but it gets really in depth. However, there's things that you can get out of it for sure.
Yeah, I think what I was talking about with Molly McCord is that she might tell you where to look in your chart, but then she's going to give you like the 10 other influences that are going on during this time right now. So when it comes down to it, I think you can go from doing nothing and just being like, oh, there's an eclipse. That's awesome. The planets are aligned. Like envision that and be like, oh, that's really cool. We're spiraling through space and like all of us align every once in a while. And that's amazing. Or you can get into some of the things that Molly McCord is saying and like really reach into that natal chart where it's like you have this sign and this and this and this and all the things connect. I don't do that when I listen to her. I listen to it. Number one, I never listen to it on regular speed. I listen to it at like time and a half or 2. I need shit to just go. I got things to do. I want to, that's just me. So I listen to people on like triple speed if I can. And I get it all. Like I absorb it. It's fine. But what happens is that when I'm listening to it, I really feel like there's direct messages just that like are for me that my team of lights, like, yeah, we led you to this video so that you get this one thing from it. And then that's going to carry you on to this other thing. And it's always stepping stones in our journey. So if today is the first time that you're really learning about eclipses, or you're even thinking about how to celebrate it, or maybe you're going from that fear thing to like, oh, eclipses can be really awesome and we can harness the power of like fast moving, quick stuff and whatever. it's a stepping stone. You may never watch another one of our videos again, but it's a stepping stone to get you from here to learn something new, to practice something that just continues to evolve your soul's experience on Earth. That's how I think of it.
Okay.
Boom. Good wrap up. I hope that was good, Raven. Thank you for trying to bring me back around.
Tracy had to leave.
Too excited.
She's getting a new
Tracy.
roomie at the hospital.
Oh. I lit a green candle and some herbs for her yesterday for healing.
All right,
Yes.
you guys. I think that's it.
I think
Nobody
so.
had any questions.
Yeah.
But if you have any comments,
have a ton
if you
of questions.
after the eclipse happens and you want to contribute something here,
Oh
we'd
yeah. Let us know what you did.
Love to hear about it.
Remember, we have a Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called, a page? I'm terrible at Facebook, you guys. I'm terrible at social media in general, but like share, you can share pictures and stuff there too. Kat and I don't know. We should do something and share it, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have this new area in my backyard. I took out my above ground pool, and now I have this circle, this perfect circle that's got quartz sand. They brought in quartz sand. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And which is the really white sand, because our
regular it's white and it stays cool because quartz doesn't like. That's why we use it in so many things, because it doesn't heat up.
So like I was thinking that I would grass over the whole backyard, but I'm gonna keep that circle and turn it into something. And I was thinking, man, that could be super witchy too. Like,
some witch meetings, some moon work, some circle work.
I already put 3 chairs out there. I got
oh shit, she's doing it now.
I got plans for a fire pit and all kinds of shit. So
maybe you should share that on Facebook.
I will. Okay.
I'm not good at this stuff, but all right, you guys. Mwah, thank you so much for being here tonight with us. We hope you got something out of this. If not, I hope it was just entertaining then, because we try. Tanky is ready for his walk. He knows we're saying our goodbyes.
He knows when we're saying
every time when we're saying goodbyes, he knows.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Brianna says, ooh, fire pit time. Yeah, you're gonna have to come over. You're gonna have to hang out and do some stuff. All right. Everybody have a great weekend. Do we meet before the next thing? No, it's the 4th. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So whatever you guys decide to do for the eclipse or do nothing, fucking stay strong and
is next week
be proud of whatever it is.
Wreaths? Are we doing Beltane wreaths?
Probably.
Yeah.
Beltane wreaths.
So check out, we're gonna create wreaths for Beltane. Flower crowns, rather.
Flower crowns, yeah.
Flower crowns. And we're going to do a demo. Somebody asked us to do that. And I think can't they see our scheduled lives on our YouTube channel?
Yep. You can see all the upcoming stuff.
We have lives scheduled out to about the 3rd week of May. And then Jamie's going to Scotland. She'll be gone for a couple of weeks, and we'll be back in.
Yeah, I leave April 23rd.
Oh, okay. So that's when you come back. So
I'm gone for 2 weeks, and then I come back early May, because I'm going to be at the Beltane Fire Festival.
So jealous.
I'm jealous of myself, and I'm not there yet. It doesn't feel like real life right now.
I told her, I was like, I want lots of pictures, because I'm going to put them together, like lots of little videos that I can splice together and make a big video out of.
Can we put nude people on the internet like that? Because there's the ladies that are topless.
Oh, we'll have to probably put little stars or hearts.
Give them tassels.
Moons or something on their lady parts.
It's just their boobies, so it should be okay.
Should be all right.
Yeah.
Still, I don't want to get banned from Facebook for nudity.
Oh, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they make you sign a little thing that says there will be nudity here. You should watch your children. So when you buy your tickets, it's like,
really?
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. They warn you. They inform you. Yeah, but it's a whole thing. But all right, you guys, we will see you next week. Have a great weekend and have a great eclipse. I almost said solstice. Have a great eclipse. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.